to the Season 4 versus not Season 4 comparison videos. As a starting side note, apparently the Undine took care of all the Borg while I was on the press any key screen. I guess the map runs. Once it's loaded, it runs, even if you haven't actually clicked any. If you tab out before you press any key to actually enter the map yourself. That'll make this a little easier, I suppose. This is actually on Tribble. This is the Season 4 ground combat. For the science, I know I said I would do a before and after for each character class, but for a number of reasons, the biggest of which being while I was recording my before video, well, once I got done what I thought was recording my before video, I closed out of the game and I was going to switch over to Tribble and get that set up and then look at the clips and make sure everything was all good so that I could edit it a little later. And I found out that for some reason Fraps had decided to only record the final 34 seconds of my video, which was probably 7 or 8, maybe 9-10 minutes long. I mean, my videos are usually at least that long. So I got a little frustrated. I don't want to look lazy, but you know, it is the old ground mechanics. I've shown it to you twice before on Tacticals and Engineers, and from those I think anybody would be able to see how it would just be similar for a science officer to say how it would be for an engineer, where your weapons don't do a whole lot of damage and you have to rely a little more on your abilities to find creative ways to hit your enemies harder, whereas as a tactical you just stack as many abilities as you can and you'll just do a bunch more damage. So anyway, while I have the Geophysicist kit equipped here, I want to note 2 changes. I'm going to talk about the Geophysicist and the Medic kits, because in my experience, those are really the only 2 I ever hear being talked about. Every now and then, some people seem to like the Analyst kit or the Bioresearch kit. I level with the Analyst kit when Geophysicists are basically impossible to find. But Geophysics and Medic. Actually, I should note right now that in Tribble, in Season 4, it's no longer called Geophysicist, it's just called Physicist. And the related skill is no longer called Geophysics, it's, of course, just called Physics. Right there. And you can see, right on here, in the Examples Include section, right in this, there's these 2 skills which you might be able to figure out what they are, but those names don't exist right now. On Holodeck, on the live server. And those are Electrolytic Field, which is the name replacement for Gravimetric Shift, and then Exothermic Induction Field, which is, you know, again, the name replacement for Thermal Vent. And there is a little bit more of a change to each of those, but it's all very minor. More so with the Gravimetric Shift or Electrogravitic Field. It really is just it does the same thing. I believe it has a larger radius. Let's just have a look here and see. Yeah, it does have a bit of a wider radius. So that's the real substance change with Gravimetric Shift or Electrolytic Field, as it's now called. Switch to shooter mode. That's what we're here for. Right, so the Electrogravitic Field is just a name change, because I suppose Gravimetric Shift does sound a bit too geophysics-like, and where they're trying to make it just seem more physics, they decided to change the name, you know, to just Electrogravitic Field to make it seem more artificial, which makes it makes a little more sense when you're on a starship deck or some sort of non-planet surface, you know, to have the Earth kind of shadow underneath you. Doesn't really work when it's a duranium or whatever the hell deck plate. And as I'm going to show you here in just a minute, once I progress a little further with the mission, we don't really need to do this, but just to make sure I can get to the next group that I'm going to be fighting. Go through that dialogue, and then I'll sit up here. And I will take advantage of my even longer sniper range now. I can shoot that guy from 43.2 meters. And I come down. More snipers. Now, what I want to show, to take advantage of this exploit, they've adapted. So this is a good time to show you the new thermal vent, which is called Exothermic Induction Field. doesn't look quite so much like lava busting out anymore. It's just literally, you just start a fire. You just kind of conjure up some fire. I guess maybe a little bit mage style or something. But oh damn, that's right, they've adapted. The point of that is, again, when you aren't on the ground, because it would make sense here on the ground, but if you're on a starship and you have the deck plate underneath you, or if you're in a building or something like that, to just have lava kind of, or just a crack in the earth shoot forth and fire come up out of it, doesn't really make a ton of sense. Do one more group here, just for fun. Actually, also, I think, maybe worth noting, I think, is nanoprobe infestation. What it currently does, before Season 4 rolls out this week, is it, what it says it does is, you know, you hit an enemy with it, it spreads infectively, kind of by contact, and it lasts for X number of seconds, and the next high damage attack on that target, they don't really specify, it's kind of vague, but the next high damage attack on that target will do even more damage than it should. And again, that's all a little vague. So they've actually changed the power, so now I'll bring it back up to where it's still contagious. It says contagious damage amplification debuff. So it just straight up reduces their damage resistance pretty significantly for 15 seconds. Possibly, yeah, actually a lot more than my tricorder scan 3 does. Mind you, I'm not spec'd into my tricorder scan really at all, but that's just because to show you that now nanoprobe infestation just becomes where tricorder scan is, you know, a targeted AoE damage resistance and stealth debuff, but most importantly damage resistance. Nanoprobe infestation becomes obviously a longer cooldown, but a much bigger contagious, like literally virus spreading infective damage resistance debuff, and it lasts for 15 seconds. You can hit them with as many high damage attacks as you want, but that stays on them, at least so I think. Just to test that, we'll say hi to this. Maybe try to give it a moment to spread past. Despite the fact that he's adapting, the attack isn't consuming kind of what we're looking for here. The fact that I'm forgetting to adapt weapons is really just neither here nor there. That's just me failing to adapt my weapons because I keep forgetting. Let's take care of that right now. Okay. Quickly find another group down in this direction. Right about over here. So we got hyperonic radiation and sonic pulse basically work in the same way. I don't think they've been changed at all. It's well, sonic pulse looks like it might actually have a higher knockback, but I'm not sure. And actually, the reduction to run speed, I think is new. I don't recall it slowing down people use Sonic Pulse. So okay, I stand corrected. That is new. What I did find from reading the Tribble patch notes, and I mean, of course, if you want any of the real meaty details on any of this stuff that I don't necessarily cover in detail, you can go to the forums, forums.StarTrekOnline.com, or just go to www.StarTrekOnline.com. Click through to the forums. Way down toward the bottom, there's a sub-forum section for the Tribble test server. You can have a look at the patch notes down there, and if you fish through and find the initial, I don't remember what day it was the initial Tribble push was, but if you find that, you can see all of these kind of details, and if you really want to, you can follow them through day by day or every couple of days. It's been almost daily patching lately as they really make sure everything is as fixed as they can get it to go live later this week. But most of the ground ability changes, I mean, other than the sweeping changes, you know, the fact that there is a shooter mode, a free look, all the guns have been changed, pretty much. The ranges on them have been changed, the DPS has been changed, your health, your shield health, all that math is different, yes. But the most actual changes to specific powers I've found occurred, with science stuff. I mean, if you compare it to, say, an engineer with his fabrication or bunker kit, his bunker fabrication kit, he drops his force field dome 3, his force field dome. It does the same thing. It blocks out enemies. It has a small addition of, I think, increasing your damage resistance while you're inside it. He drops his medical generator. It does the exact same thing, just a little better. He drops his phaser turret. It does the exact same thing. It just has a different visual effect. It fires bursts instead of beams. So really, those are kind of the same. For tactical, there's a couple of more changes. You know, focus fire, the stacking debuff on the target you hit it with, has been changed to just a damage buff for you. So yeah, okay, that's a big change in how that power works, but almost every science power, now that I think about it, has had some tweaks. Like we've seen Sonic Pulse. I could be wrong. I really don't remember it having a run speed debuff. And, you know, we've seen that the gravimetric shift is now turned into Electrolytic Field. Does most of the same stuff, but has a bigger radius and a slightly different effect. The thermal vent is now Exothermic Induction Field, as we said. Does a lot more damage. A lot more fire damage. It has a knockback. It doesn't look like the Earth is breaking open anymore. So visual effects changes. Hyperonic radiation is the same. It possibly does more damage, but it's the same thing. So I mean, out of this one kit, 3 of the abilities are moderately changed, or better. Whereas on a lot of other kits and other classes, it's just, this is all the same, here you go. Some numbers are different, but it all does the same stuff. One more group, so I can get back to talking about actual science stuff. Let's, well, let's see. Neural neutralizer, exact same thing. Dampening field, the exact same thing. Maybe a little more effective. Tricorder scan does the exact same stuff. The weapons, you've seen a couple of the weapon types. I think I might actually do separate, or just one more video on Tribble. I don't know what character I'm going to use, but I'll carry one of every single weapon. And I'll be like, look, this is how, this is what this weapon does, what it looks like, what it sounds like. If I remember, I'll try to note any kind of, you know, the range is different, watch out for that, or this or that or the other. But, kill one more Borg. Oh, we're gonna come to visit. With that, I will end this video, and I'll maybe go straight on to the different weapon type demonstration. And other than that, thank you for watching these videos. The next time I get an inspiration to do a whole bunch of videos of this nature with STO, or maybe a different game, I definitely will. Maybe I'll hit up some Let's Plays on STO once Season 4 goes live, to do a few different missions. Which is pretty much all you've seen is me shooting Borg with one break for Nausicaans. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to those who subscribed, who've, you know, commented, all that good stuff. Thank you. And until next time, I'll see you all later.